All right, awesome. Welcome to our call tonight, guys, to our team training and inspiration. It's called team training. It's called team training and inspiration for a reason, because we bring amazing guests on here within our team and outside of our team that are really giving of their time to pour into you, to train you, and to inspire you, that if they can do it, you can do it. And to teach them a few tips that they have learned along the way. And so before we get started with Abby, I just want to remind you guys, we still have a lot of time left in the month and so many big things that we can accomplish. Already, a bunch of you have earned Platinum Club, which we started this month for the first time. And so a bunch of you are already going to be getting that nice cash bonus just for enrolling 3 new level 1s and helping 1 new level 1 go silver for the first time. I've had a couple questions about that, and some people were asking, what if it's a silver that they get to re-rank? And it's got to be a new silver, because we always want to be looking to develop new people to silver. And I tell you what, guys, you can absolutely do that. So I want to encourage you to go for Platinum Club. I would love for you guys to make us go broke. I know Christy and Emily and Lee and Ricky and Chelsea, we all feel the same way. We want you guys to reach this. And we know that when you employ the power of 3, that's when you really grow consistently. The other thing is double rank bonuses. Still plenty of time left in the month. Remember, if you have lost rank for 2 consecutive months, so say, for example, May and June, if you re-rank this month, for example, a gold or senior gold ambassador, you're actually going to earn that rank advance bonus all over again. Now, you do need to personally sponsor 2 new ambassadors in order to get that re-rank bonus. What if you've never achieved a rank before and you achieve gold or senior gold or ruby? You're going to get double the bonus. So if you go ruby instead of $500, you're getting $1,000. And the same thing applies. You need to have 2 new level 1s in order to qualify to get that double rank bonus. So I just wanted to go over those quick announcements. You guys are rocking the skincare soiree. I hope you guys are enjoying that. All the contributors did an amazing job. If you're on Emily's team, you're going to be starting yours on Monday. And I'm telling you guys, it's really good stuff, and your potentials are going to love it. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and turn the time over exclusively to Abby here. This has been probably about 6 or 9 months in the making. She and I have kind of chatted back and forth a little bit here and there, and we're like, I got to get you on a call. I got to get you on a call. And it's finally aligned that we can have her on this call tonight. She is the youngest diamond in Plexus. When she started Plexus, she was a single mom, just looking to get her bills paid. So I love her story, and I don't even know her entire story. She's going to lay it out for us and share some wisdom with us tonight. All right, Abby, take it away, girl.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I tried to double check my Wi-Fi before I jumped on. But I just want to tell you guys tonight, first, before I get started, how truly honored I am to be on this call. You guys are part of truly one of the most incredible teams in this entire company. And for me personally, your upline, Brooke, is the person that I look up to the most. Her grit is without compare. And so I learned so much from you guys and from this team. So the fact that I get to be on here tonight and share my story is so humbling. And I've already spent time praying and preparing before this call that it will encourage some of you guys on here. So I will give you a little bit of the background and then kind of share with you a couple tips that Brooke asked me to share. So I originally started the products like 4 years ago. It was the summer of 2014. And let me tell you guys, when I say started the products, I mean just the products. Like, I signed as an ambassador because I was a single mom. But I literally told my sponsor, I said, I will not be doing this business, and I need you to understand that. I was overly clear with her. I was not, I mean, honestly, I tell people I did not want to touch the social marketing industry with this 10-foot pole. I made fun of it. It honestly, more than just making fun of it, it disgusted me. I thought that there was no integrity for the people who did that. And so the only reason why I was even participating by purchasing the product was because I felt so sorry for the girl in my home Bible study who was doing it, because none of her friends were supporting her. And I was like, oh my word, this is so embarrassing. I will support her, and who knows? I mean, I'm a crunchy mom. Maybe by some crazy chance they will work. So I did not take them correctly, but I did notice a difference in month 1 on the products. So even taking them inconsistently, you guys, I all of a sudden started dropping my baby weight, and I was floored because I was working out at CrossFit 5 and 6 days a week. I was eating a perfect paleo diet. I did not think I needed these supplements. And so I was like, surely not. Like, I was doing everything else right. I didn't consider the health issues that I had to be problems. I thought they were just normal, but the products worked. However, I was a single mama and I was trying to figure out life on my own. And so I turned off my order and said, sorry, I really cannot afford to keep doing this. But I was very intrigued, and watching my sponsor, who is Jessica Heffley, she literally converted our tiny town in Arkansas. And left and right, people were having these amazing health testimonies. And I thought, there's just no way. There is no way all of these stories are being solved by this one product. And so that's when I started doing my own research. And that is when I discovered gut health. And I became such a believer in gut health, you guys, that I started sending people to her. And I would preface it with, don't worry, I don't sell this, like I would never. But my friend Jessica has these products and they help people. You should try them. And she came to me and she was like, you're crazy. Why are you sending me people? You should do this business. And I was like, no. I have integrity, but you should keep doing this because I believe you now. I at least believe that the products work, but I'm still not going to touch that. So being stubborn and hard-headed as I am, I continued looking for different jobs because, you guys, I was homeschooled all the way through. I had owned several home businesses since the time I was 11 years old. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but I wanted to stay home with my babies. And I ended up becoming a single mom, really overnight through a crazy, insane set of circumstances. And so I immediately, like 3 weeks before my baby was born, separated from my husband. And all of a sudden I went from what was going to be a stay-at-home mom to being completely alone and having to figure out how I was going to survive. So I was like applying to colleges. I was going to go finish nursing school. I had job offers in at all the local hospitals and clinics. And I had somebody way older and wiser than me who was not in the social marketing industry at the time, but she came to me and said, why are you willing to kill yourself working night shifts and being a mom during the day when there are so many more options out there? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a choice here. I'm just trying to be a good mom and provide for my baby. And she said, no, you have pride. She said, because girl, everybody out there is monetizing their social media, and you're sitting here telling me that you would rather go work night shifts at night and be a mom during the day than actually swallow your pride. She said, you're crazy. Go out there, pick something you believe in, and do it. And you guys, I literally remember that day. I sat on the floor in my living room and I cried. I was like, she is right. I was willing to give up everything for my pride, and I did not know that's what it was. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to look at everything, and I'm going to choose the best one, because so help me, if I am going to swallow every bit of identity that I have, it's going to be for something that's good. So I looked at everything. I looked at those essential oils. Everything that was out there, I looked at the pros and cons, and you guys, this was the only thing left standing, because I wanted to be able to sleep at night. I was like, I cannot, in my introverted self, if I'm going to, you guys can't see me right now, my legs are shaking so bad. I am such an introvert. I am like way up here on the introvert scale, and now I talk to people for a living. But I was like, if I'm going to sweat through my shirt while I share this, it better be for something that matters. I am not going to do this for lipstick, okay? I'm not doing this for a nonstick cookie sheet. I'm going to do this for something that changes lives. And these products change lives. So I went to Jessica and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this business in March of 2015. So that was about an 8-month gap from when I first originally tried the products. And I was serious. I was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm going to do this. I made the posts. I shared the testimonies. I went silver my first month, and then people started passing me. And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? This wasn't for me. I knew this was a horrible idea. And Jessica was like, oh, are you doing the high five? Reaching out to people. Okay, well, in my first Facebook post, I told my whole Facebook audience I would never reach out to people. I was like, come and get it. It works, but you won't find me in your inbox. I literally said that, you guys, in my very first Facebook post of all time. And I was like, but I have to, if I want to do this, I better start looking at the people that are successful. And the people that were successful were the ones who were doing the work. They were messaging people on Facebook. They weren't just sitting back and making posts and expecting magic to happen to them. So I started doing it. And you guys, it worked. I went gold in, I think, May, and then I went senior gold in August. And I ended up getting married to a wonderful man who loves the Lord in September of that year. And then I was like, phew, I don't have to do this anymore. Thank the Lord. That thing worked. It paid my bills when I needed it to. And now I can go back to being a normal person and forget that social marketing ever happened to me. So I told my husband after we got married, I was like, okay, I can quit now, right? And he's like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, I can quit. Like, I don't have to do this, like this Plexus thing anymore. And he goes, okay, well, you're going to have to get another job because that is paying our rent. I was like, yeah, but I thought once we got married, I wouldn't have to be this girl. It's so hard. And he said, okay. He said, that's fine. I support you, but I really suggest you pray about this and make sure you aren't just taking the easy way out. And so that was super convicting for me, because I started looking at other options, and my husband at the time was a recording worship artist, and so he traveled on the road full time. And so if I wanted to be with him and I wanted our family to be together, that would mean I would have to have a flexible job where I could go with him. Otherwise, we were going to be apart a lot, and I couldn't find anything else that gave me this type of time freedom. And I was like, okay, why am I wanting to get out? And I realized that even though I was doing the work, and even though I was even making money, you guys, I was a senior gold, there was still some resentment that I was doing this kind of a thing. There was a little bit of being ashamed, like, man, I still don't like the way people talk about me. I still don't like the looks I get sometimes. I just don't know if this is worth it. So I was kind of hanging on to that a little bit. And the next month I participated in a Maui challenge. So I did all the things every single day, and I worked hard, and I saw my business explode a little bit. And it was then that I had a light bulb moment, and I realized, I was like, you know what? This is not about me. I started this business needing to pay my bills as a single mom, and the Lord blessed my efforts, because I did. I worked it pretty much every day to get to where I was. And yet still I was holding back. I wasn't working this business with my whole heart and my whole mind and all of my strength. And I really, you guys, I can pinpoint the night that it was in November when I kind of laid this business before the Lord, and I was like, man, I don't like this feeling. I don't like that I do it, but I don't love that I'm doing it. I don't like feeling that conflict. And I really felt like the Lord impressed upon my heart, why would I ever pour out all of my blessing on something that you are not even pouring all of your effort into? And that was crazy convicting to me. And I said, okay, you're right. I have been holding back. And I should not keep praying for all of your blessing on something that I'm not putting all of my heart into. So I worked my booty off, you guys. I was a senior gold. I decided that I wanted to go ruby before New Year's Eve, before the end of the year, and it wasn't there. The points were not there, okay? It was not going to work. I was like 70 points from my goal, and I was like, this is my line in the sand. If we can do this, if the Lord blesses this, I will know. I did all the things. I drove Jessica Heffley nuts. She literally texted me back one day and she goes, there is nothing else for you to do. You have done all the things. She was basically like, you're either going to get ruby or I don't know what to tell you. Because I kept going back and asking, okay, I've done my IPA. What else do I do? Okay, I've done this. What else do I do? I was taking all the action I needed to take. And you guys, I went ruby 5 minutes before midnight. on New Year's Eve. And that was it for me. I was like, I am in. And that's where I kind of say after that, I went balls to the wall. I was like, okay, this is between me and the Lord. This is no longer just about me and my dreams and my needs. This is between me and him, and this is about stewardship. He has given me an opportunity, and I want to please him with the way that I steward it, and that means doing it with all of my strength. And so it completely changed the way I worked my business. I stopped just taking responsibility for my own business, and I started taking responsibility for everyone in my back office. That's when I learned to goal set. I had never set a goal in my business, you guys. I just worked hard. In January, after going Ruby, the only coaching call I ever had with my upline, she got on the phone and said, hey, so do you know how many people you need to add to go Emerald this year? And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, well, I think you should add 40. And I said, 40? I said, you're insane. The most amount I've ever added is 18. And she said, well, you should add 40. And I went to my sidelines. You guys take note of this. I went to my sidelines and said, she's crazy, right? I can't add 40. And they said, oh no, you can't add 40. That's more than double anything you've ever added. You guys make sure, sidelines relationships are awesome, but make sure you've got people that are going to push you and not just tell you the things that make you settle and the things that you want to hear and cop out for. So they were like, no, you can't do it. But I laid in bed that night and I was like, why would she tell me 40 if I can't get 40? And the next day I got up, I got on the phone with every single person working the business on my team. And I said, let's figure this out. We're going to help you. We're going to get your goals. We're going to make this happen. That month we added 45 ambassadors. And the most we had ever added was 18. Crazy, crazy things happen when you stop listening to lies and you take action instead. So after that, I was a believer in goal setting, and I ended up going Senior Ruby in February and Emerald in April. So it really exploded in momentum from there. So I also want you guys to be encouraged. Things can change overnight. All of the things you're doing every single day when you're being faithful and you're being steady with your IPA, you are sowing seeds, and one day you will reap a harvest. So if you're being faithful on those days where you get home from a 12-hour shift and you don't feel like working and you do it anyway, know that 90 days from now, that's going to matter. It's going to matter whether you're able to sign people 3 months from the day you did your messages. All of those things are crazy important. So it took me a total of 13 months to go Emerald, another 13 months to go Sapphire, and then it was a quick trip to Diamond 3 months later from there. So you guys, there were hard things at every point in that journey. Every Jewel promotion took all-nighters and hard work. So this business is a job. It is hard work, but in my lifetime, it is the best job that I have ever seen in existence. It requires grit, and I think the reason why this business can be hard is because of the personal discipline it requires. The tasks, you guys, they're not hard. It's not, I mean, honestly, like, you suck up your pride one time, it's easier after that. You can message people, you can make the posts. It's the small daily tasks that add up over time that are the most powerful, and they're also the easiest to let them go. I learned, and it's also really easy to think that it doesn't matter because your team doesn't know and that they aren't watching. But I promise you guys, they are watching. One of the biggest game changers in my business on my road to Emerald is when I started an IPA thread that I participated in with my team. I made a vow in January of 2016 to outwork the hardest worker in my downline. And so every single day we would all comment in this IPA thread how many cold messages we'd sent that day, how many follow-ups we'd sent that day. And you guys, I had some hard workers. Like, I had some girls who would get in there and be like, I sent 42 messages. And I was like, I'm going to be up till midnight. I have to send 50. But I did it. And I think that spoke volumes to them, that I wasn't standing over them saying, come on, guys, let's do this. You should do it. You should really work harder. But that we were in it together. if your people know you are in the trenches with them, there is going to be a deep trust there and a respect there that goes way further than any difference in color, personalities, or communication styles or any of those things. If you're all in it together and you are committing your ways to the Lord, then you will all rise together. One of the things that Brooke asked me was about my age and how to appeal to other people in my age market. So I'm going to kind of give you guys the same answer that I gave corporate, because corporate asked me this. I actually, for the first time, have people on my team, and they joined me after Diamond. So I went after people that were not in my age group all the way to Diamond. I think being a parent helped with that a lot. I am anywhere from 10 to 20 years younger from all of the people on my team. And I think it's just because I never talked about my age. A lot of people didn't know my age on my team until I went Diamond and it was posted on my graphic. So I never told people when I got on the phone with them how old I was. I just honestly realized that most people my age who are either in college or just coming out of college, they don't have a very high value for real life things. They feel kind of like they're a little bit invincible. They also, a lot of them don't have a lot of work ethic. The two girls that had joined my team, their mom was actually my mentor, the one who told me to suck up my pride and pick something that works. So those girls actually joined my team this year, and they're now going Ruby, and their mom is on their team going Senior Gold. So now all of those girls are part of my team and my journey. But they were raised to work hard and to also take responsibility for things. You guys I want you to not be discouraged if it's hard for you to find business builders. This is something that Brooke has really absolutely been brilliant in teaching you guys. You don't have to wait for a rock star. Everybody can do a little bit. Because honestly, guys, if you have done research on the most successful people in the world, there's not a lot of them. And it's not because there's anything special about them, okay? They're not more talented, they're not smarter, they're not prettier, they're not more influential. That has nothing to do with it. It's just that most people don't want to work. It's just true. They want to be told what to do. They want to be spoon-fed things. They don't want to take responsibility for things. Most people just don't want to grow. They don't want to stretch. They don't want to become the better version of themselves. A big majority of people, not all. The people that do, those are your leaders. Those are your rock stars. Those are the people you want to lock arms with. But if you've only got one of those on your team right now, that's okay. Don't throw in the towel and be like, well, I've only got one, so we're not getting to Emerald from here. That's not true. You absolutely can. You can take responsibility, the both of you, for everybody that comes into your care and help them share these products. And you can create a culture that keeps those people on. And you can make sure those subscriptions get turned on if they're off. So you have to be willing to put in the extra legwork and not just have an expectation that everybody's going to pull their own weight, because they're not. Okay? That's just the hard truth. Nobody is ever going to work as hard for your dreams as you do. Okay? That's Rachel Hollis. Girl, wash your face. If this is what you want, then do it. If this is what you want and subscriptions are off, go get them back on. If this is what you want and you feel like your team isn't adding, then you go talk to them about what you think is holding them back. Don't wait for them to come to you. I think that has been the biggest thing in my journey, is being willing to take the initiative and not just go, oh my gosh, this is just really a problem this month. I mean, nobody's doing anything and I just don't know what to do. I just can't make them do it. You're right. We can't make them, but we can put all the odds in our favor, giving them all the opportunities to take action and to join us and to let them know they're not alone, and we're going to do it with them every step of the way. So I have, going back to the age question, I've always made sure to kind of go to people at least in their late 20s. If it's somebody who's in college, I'll get them on products, but I'm not expecting them. I'm not putting a lot of stock in them to really be super, super serious. So, were there any questions? I tried to go fast and get all the way through everything. but I would love to
You're
answer
so
questions.
awesome. I mean, I think that that's really true. Like the young 20s age group is difficult because it's rare to find somebody that's super driven and gets it. But when I look at the younger, younger ambassadors like you or other early 20-year-old, like if they are driven, a lot of their college roommates are not going to have a large network of people that have money to do this or drive, but they have moms and they
Yes.
have aunts. And if they're in that age group, they probably have moms that are in their 40s or something like that. And so you really have to teach them that they don't necessarily need to be looking for other college age students, but how else can they expand their network? So, so I don't know if you guys have any questions for Abbey. If you do, you can unmute yourself and ask. But I would just love if you would share maybe like what one or two of your biggest fears were, and or hardest times, and how you overcame them.
Let's see. Okay, for the girls who are young, oops. Sorry, guys. My connection glitched real quick. For the girls who are young, I actually tell them to do exactly what Brooke said. I say, go message everyone on your mom's friends list. So that is exactly what I tell them. And then as far as my fears go, you guys, I think that excuses, being willing to take action despite how big the excuses become, still causes me fear. Okay, this is something, and you guys may disagree with me on this, but I feel like that is something that will never end. Okay, the fear of failure, the opportunity for excuses, this isn't something where once you become emerald, you become untouchable. Okay, so I'll share with you guys a quick example of how this took place for me after I was a jewel. After I went emerald, that year when I went to Leaders Retreat, Jessica and I were driving together to Magnolia Market because that Leaders Retreat was in Texas. And I got into her black Lexus, which was way prettier than my white Lexus. And I was like, ugh, I clicked my seatbelt and I literally heard the words, "You will never be in here. This will never be yours." And I was like, it's true. I literally feel like it's a miracle that I made it to emerald. There's no way I'm going to get to sapphire. And even if I miraculously get to sapphire, there's no way I'm going to get to diamond. I was so tired after going emerald. It literally felt impossible to me. But I just was like, never mind, I'm not going to think about that. We're going to have a fun day. I'm just going to focus on the positive. And I looked over at Jess and I was like, I love your jeans so much. And she was like, thanks, shopping spree. And I was like, crap, I'm never going to have that either. Literally, like, have you seen my Leaders Retreat credits this year? Like, I will just tell you guys right now, like, I am like an ambassador girl for life. PV is hard for me, okay? You guys, I have to work my booty off in these contests. I'm not just like a shoo-in because I'm a jewel. I have to work. And I was like, I am never going to get a shopping spree in all my days. And I just was so defeated that whole drive to Magnolia Market. And I got out and I was like, you know what? Fear is a liar. And I did end up going diamond less than a year and a half later. And the same month, you guys, the jump to diamond was so big. Even my upline was like, I can't even tell you to go for this. It's too big. I think you're going to miss it. And I don't think you can handle the disappointment. At the same time, it was the last month to qualify for Leaders Retreat, and I was going after the shopping spree. My two biggest goals in my entire career, and they were both coming down head to head, and I was down to hours in the month, you guys. Auto ships had already gone out. I had hours left in the last day of the month, and I was going after both, and I wasn't willing to let either one go. We got both of them. I went diamond and won the shopping spree in the same day. Now, here's the deal. It's not always going to work that way. And if it doesn't mean you're a failure. What matters is that you don't let it go and you don't give up. It happened to me again 2 months ago. I had a certain number that I wanted my points to end at in my back office. And after auto ships went out, you guys, I wasn't even close. I was like 100 orders away from that. And I was like, I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to push 100 orders through. I'm going to have to clear my day. I'm going to have to work so hard on this. And I just cried. And my husband looked at me and he goes, well, are you going to quit? Or are you going to believe that you're going to get it? And are you going to go do it? And you guys, I wiped my face and I sat down and I didn't leave my room until we hit those points that night. Again, 5 minutes before midnight. Okay? This is major. This stuff still happens. This happens to me as a diamond. I doubt myself. I fear failure. I freak out because I'm like, this is too big. And even the idea of what it would take to get there, even if I thought maybe I could do it, that still scares me, the amount of work that it might take. But you guys, our mind is the biggest battleground you will ever fight. If you can decide, nope, I'm going to do what it takes. That way, even if I miss it, it doesn't matter. It's not, oh, well, because if I had missed it, it's okay because I left it all on the field. I didn't have to go, well, if I had tried harder, or yeah, I just didn't go for it. You guys, I know myself and my husband knows me. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if that happened. I would literally be double as unglued on the back end for not trying. So if you guys can decide to take action, I would say those are the biggest things for me is a fear of failure. And not being afraid that if I try and if I pour it all out there, I might miss it. Sometimes we do, and it's still okay because you're that much closer the next time. Also, my team knows this about me, and sometimes I forget when I'm sharing my story because my team they all know. I have worked this business during the 4 hardest years of my entire life. So this has been something that has been an opportunity for me to face fear in over and over and over again. I have worked this business during a divorce, as a single mama. A year later, when I was going through a dating relationship, it was a 10-hour long distance dating relationship. So even to see the person that I was engaged to, I was having to drive 10 hours through the night with a newborn and then work my business during the day, and then plan a wedding. We moved twice. And the day after we got back from our honeymoon from all of those life transitions, I was served custody papers. So I've been in a 4-year legal battle that is always ongoing all the time. 3 months after getting married, my daddy was diagnosed with brain cancer. My daddy was my person. I told him everything, and he totally was my confidant in all the things. And he went to heaven almost 2 years ago. He went to heaven 2 months before I promoted to Emerald. And so then after that, we packed one moving truck with my mom, my 3 younger siblings who were still living at home, and we all relocated to Nashville, Tennessee. So we have gone through every major life transition and life crisis during the building of this business. So that has presented countless opportunities for me to not want to do my IPA, to get on the phone with team members who are, the worst thing that happened to them is that their baby got up twice last night, so they think they can't do their IPA. And I just got out of my daddy's funeral, but I'm getting on the phone with them to tell them that it's okay and they can still do this business. You guys, leadership requires so much selflessness. We have to put aside our feelings, our insecurities, our own drama to deal with everybody else's. But I want you to know you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And it will give you so much healthy perspective for what is actually possible. And when you're looking to the right and to the left and you see other people in this business, the only reason you should ever be comparing is to show you what's possible in this business. Some people will say blinders on, don't look. I'm a blinders girl. I tend not to look. I even went Emerald and I didn't know any of the jewels' names. It was kind of bad. I had to look at the jewel page. I was like, I don't know who anyone is. I'm sorry. I've just been working and I just got here. But if you feel like you are looking to people on either side of you and you're feeling discouraged, you're doing it wrong. The people to either side of you are proof of what is possible in this business, despite all the odds being stacked against them and the odds that are stacked against you. You can do this. Absolutely. You guys, I will end with this. I have seen a direct correlation in my business to my walk with the Lord. I realized early on what leadership requires of us. We have to have a full cup in order to fill everybody else that's coming to us for help and advice and encouragement all day long. So on the days when I get up at 5 in the morning and actually set aside quiet time to pray and seek and ask for wisdom, the material I'm able to bring to my team that day is loads better than if I just hit the ground running, didn't even take a second for silence, and just immediately jumped into my day and went right to work. Make sure that you are bringing valuable things to your team and valuable things to your people so that you're actually leading them in the right direction. You can totally do it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I get to hop in here because little Gracie girl's having a meltdown in Brooke's car.
Oh,
Yeah, close out this call. Oh, really quick, we have one more question. Kara Allen asked, where do you find most success in expanding your network? Instagram, Facebook, face-to-face, community? That's a good question.
It is a great question. I will say that is different for every person. I think that's very dependent upon personality. I personally joined this business because I felt like the network was limitless if you're on social media. Face-to-face is very dependent upon how many people you come into contact every day. If you're a very social person, that's great for you. I will say I have started expanding my network in person, but it is purely for the sake of overcoming fear. Not because I feel like it's increased my numbers or any of that nature, but just because I realized it was the one thing I wasn't doing, and I don't want fear to ever hold me back. So for the past year, I have consistently gotten strangers' phone numbers and their information in public and connected with them just because I felt like that was a missing piece that I hadn't been doing. But for me, as far as actual numbers and people being recruited into my organization, it is the most successful on social media. Between Facebook and Instagram, I think that really depends on your influence. I have some people on my team who are very Instagram savvy, but Instagram is another world. You have to have a level of visual and aesthetic excellence. It's almost like having another job. I'll just be honest with you guys. You have to run your Instagram and run your Plexus business. So if that's something that you're not comfortable with and it's not a good use of your time right now because it's not coming naturally to you, then stick to Facebook and then just add a bunch of new friends, consistently participate in Facebook groups. Facebook is still alive and well. I sign people off of that still, and that's where I built most of my business. And Instagram does require kind of a leg up of being willing to kind of learn how they operate.
Awesome. Such good ideas. Okay, one last question. Well, maybe two, if you have a minute. And an example message that you send is one question. And then the last one, this girl says she is 20 and wants to go for being the next youngest diamond. What's the biggest advice you would give?
Girl, you can do it. 20, that's amazing. I would say stay super coachable. Whatever, I mean, you guys, honestly, Brooke has created a flawless system for you guys. You have all the tools you need to succeed already. So don't try to reinvent your own wheel, your own system, your own way of doing things. Just simply tap into what she's given you and work at it with all your heart and pray for the Lord to bless it. And it'll totally work.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was looking for the other question. Sample message. I will tell you guys one of the things I do, my messages change all the time. They're so specific from person to person. One thing I do though is that if I am approaching someone with a business, I will always voice message them. I feel like it's one thing to approach people with a product and share kind of my story. It's another thing to talk to them about their money. People can be very sensitive about that. And so if you are approaching someone from the business aspect, it's always as good to be as personal as possible.
Ooh, I love that. Girl, we are in love with you. You filled us so full. I have so many people that I'm going to make sure they listen to this call because you have just absolutely filled us to the brim. You are amazing. You are such a light. Like, you choked me up big time because You are an absolute light. That's just the bottom line. And we're so grateful and honored that we got to have you on this call. So thank you, thank you, thank you for spending this time and pouring into us. We just wish we could hug you, give you kisses, and say thank you, thank you, thank you. So everybody, thanks for joining us. And again, we just are so appreciative of the time that you spent and just hope that you create a beautiful night and that we get to connect again soon. So,
it was such an honor, you guys. Good night.
thank you.